Drive Zero is a European project that was funded under the Horizon 2020 program, looking for solutions that can lead towards the decarbonization of the building stock. So we prepared the project proposal in 2018. The project was funded in 2019, so we started in October to work on the Drive Zero project, which is basically how we look at the decarbonization of the building stock. Is that we believe that we have to look at the total life cycle of a building, not just from the operational perspective, so energy efficiency, which is quite like a hot topic in the recent years, but also to look from the embodied energy, embodied carbon, so actually look what materials and components, products used during its manufacturing phase, so the manufacturing and construction phase, not during just the in-use phase of a building. I mean, as I mentioned, the project started in 2019, and then we faced the COVID-19 situation, followed by the war in Ukraine, which led to the material prices inflation with the delays, so the logistics issues, etc. So despite all those factors that of course we couldn't influence, we are finishing the project now this year, the end of this year, with still 7 successful demonstration cases from the 7 different cases. So the Estonia, Slovenia, Greece, Italy, the Netherlands, and of course Ireland and Spain. I think ending the project after 4 years with those situation, with the market situation as it is today, and having so many inspired lessons learned that we can use in future projects, I think that's the biggest success.
So our demo project was successful because of successful design for disassembly, and also we met the goals for energy efficiency. And we, compared to the Estonian previous demo project, we simplified the supporting solutions and also the fixing of the prefabricated panels. The main lesson learned was mapping of the existing situation is crucial for the end result to be as expected. It's replicable basically for all sorts of, let's say, apartment buildings or other sorts of buildings. We didn't produce or design the new product, but we designed a new solution.
Here in Ireland, many of our buildings were constructed before we had building regulations. And those constructed during early building regulations are still energy inefficient and in need of retrofit. So there's an enormous challenge that's facing us, both in terms of the scale of this major renovation and the time frame that it needs to be undertaken in. And researchers across Europe and here in Ireland are asking questions about how we can best achieve these targets. Here in Athlone town, in the very heart of Ireland, the Drive Zero Irish team, comprising researchers, designers and manufacturers, have designed and implemented a pilot demonstration of this very approach. The case study buildings were 2 3-bed semi-detached Irish houses built in the 1970s and owned and managed by the local authority Westmeath County Council. Both of these houses had some previous minor energy efficiency upgrades, but within Drive Zero, both of these houses representing a 65% energy efficiency reduction and a 75% carbon emissions improvement. The strategies combined new heating systems, new ventilation systems, renewable energy systems in the form of PV panels producing electricity, and importantly, demonstrating modular wall cladding and modular extension systems. These modular systems comprised wall panels and a three-dimensional small extension and were at the heart of the project. They demonstrated the potential of modularized and circular construction solutions built in factories being applied on site, and this can facilitate large-scale, high-speed retrofit of houses. The panels were manufactured and finished complete with windows and brought to site and installed here in the project. They comprised light gauge steel framing with quilt insulation between, wood fibre boarding and air tightness layers, and were finished with a high quality cement board lining. Most importantly, the panels were designed to facilitate ease and adaptability in assembly, but also in disassembly, in that these panels can be taken down and reused intact or completely disassembled to their constituent elements, and those materials reused and reapplied in other constructions. So what are we learning from this project? Well, we have really gained a lot of knowledge and insights. Firstly, the project has demonstrated the technical potential and feasibility of this approach of deep energy retrofit at scale using industrial design and modular construction. We've learned that achieving advanced circularity in construction is a challenge and needs a radical rethink of how we are currently designing buildings. However, if we're going to be truly sustainable, we really need to incorporate circularity into building design across all design stages and all levels within the building hierarchy. We have seen that the ability to disassemble buildings and constructions is really critical to achieving circularity, as is the material specification and the use of bio-based materials in particular. However, we've seen a limitation in availability of these bio-based materials and low-carbon construction materials in Ireland, which means that we're import dependent and we're exposed to higher cost and higher embodied energy due to transport, and this really needs to change.
The Italian pilot was difficult, it was challenging given the fact that we needed to intervene on an historical building with a lot of constraints. We were able to implement a good level of prefabrication with satisfactory outcomes in terms of performances and architectural appearance. Therefore, I think we can consider this intervention a success. From the Italian demo intervention, we learned for sure a lot of lessons. From a technical perspective, many details of our system will be updated and significantly improved, with the keyword in mind that will be flexibility. We feel there's still the need to work towards cultural barriers, concepts and principles of the sustainability and circularity should be more widespread within the final users of houses, like owners or general public, but also within the construction supply chain. For sure, there are many possible applications on the Italian building stock, but we feel that to reach most of them, we should overcome barriers like the lack of local supply chains related to sustainable products, which at the end drives to higher costs of these solutions, and also a lack of sensitivity or awareness of the owners of the building itself about circular solutions.
In Slovenian case, all 3 demo cases were done. Of course, there were some complications, but in the end, we managed to do mostly ethics facades because our partner in Slovenia was Knauf Insulation, the insulation provider. But we managed also to demonstrate prefabricated 2D panels and specifically developed H2 facade, ventilated. If I would put it in one, I would say that circularity is local business. Okay, we also proved that envelope insulation, meaning all sides, roof and ground, is no regret option. We showed also that acoustics is improved because we did performance measurements before and after concerning the acoustics. We showed it's possible to do circular materials. We combined material level circularity, like recycling, and do it yourself, because do it yourself is highly developed or available, or it's there in Slovenian case. So we try to combine high-level industrial approach and do it yourself. As mentioned, diagonal 2H universal solution was deployed in one case. For the other one, we did 2D prefabricated wooden panel, which is also done on 3D add-on of a building. One of the buildings was reconstruction. We saw that there needs to be more control and coordination of contractors, because this is usually left to the owner or investor, which is physical person, and they don't have the skills, knowledge, and that's why also the quality could be improved. Noise levels or acoustics could be worsened because of the ventilation, because you put additional holes in the wall, to put it simple. What we learned also that we need to include people from the start, from discussing with investors, contractors, and we need continuous cooperation with them. We need to work with them all the time to ensure quality and also to increase circularity. Because when you do the renovation, there are always some unexpected findings, and something happens and you need to react. So you need good also technical support, which we got from Cloud Insulation. We did applications already during the project because we involved several local companies. Besides local company Cloud Insulation Slovenia, also Xela that recycled aerated concrete. We included companies to build capacity for circular renovation. Also, benefits are, I would say, quite wide for industrial partners, for contractors, and on the end for society.
The project was definitely successful also in the Greek pilot buildings. I would say that there were great experiences gained from that project, and of course under difficult circumstances. There were many lessons learned, both negative and positive. About the positive ones, the awareness of the Greek market stakeholders, like from the installers to the constructor and also the owners of the buildings. We gained the awareness of the statement in the Greek market. That was a great achievement. Also, of course, after the completion of the projects and the Greek pilot buildings, we gained the net zero energy building in one of the two pilots, and of course very high efficient buildings after the completion. The two pilot buildings in Athens, in Attica, were two different types of buildings. The one was a detached house in the countryside, and the other one was an apartment in an urban environment. So this solution that we gave during the Drive Zero project in Greece is available and can be applied in most of the buildings in Athens and in Greece in general.
As in the Spanish demo case, we still haven't completed the whole project, so we are just about to see what will happen in the two pilot sites that we are going to apply the system. But what has been successful is that we have developed a product which we think it's replicable and scalable, and we can already see that there is an interest around that product, which is a photovoltaic blender, connecting the two things we actually wanted to show in this project, and that's the photovoltaic, like renewable energy being local, and renaturization of the cities, so green facade. So we have a product that showcases the connection of these two elements. So there was a lot of lessons learned. I have to say that there were some things which we could consider like as a failure of a business model that we designed at the beginning. but at the end, like knowing what was the problem, it's a great lesson that then we would really be happy, and we will try to share also with others, so they don't make the same mistakes as we have done. And let's say this actually took us to create this product instead of a system which was very complex. So for example, we learned that the green walls are not a solution that is actually feasible when you want to look at the environmental and economical impact, and you need to really be careful what solution you choose. For example, considering the maintenance costs and the installation costs, it really depends on the location of the building and so on. Also the usage of the PV panels, that's another topic. So this is maybe not also that well known yet, but the efficiency of the PV panels really decreases depending on the inclination and orientation. So if you don't have, again, perfect conditions where you can't optimize the both the orientation and inclination, so it might not be feasible to actually make such an installation. So kind of learning the limitations of what makes sense and what doesn't was very important in our case. So as I mentioned, we developed this product with our partners locally in Spain, which is Vertical, the provider of the green solutions. And we are now also having a new partner that will allow us to modularize the electrical connections for this product. So the interesting thing is that we originally developed it for facades, so you can renovate and retrofit the boundary walls of the buildings which are being left and normally don't have windows or anything. So you can kind of use this left out space in the urban area for the PV panels and then the renewable energy production. And so the same system then can be also used for terraces, for balconies, for building roofs. So the planter is something that can be also placed to horizontal areas. It has the height which is like regulatory to be used as a railing. So it can be like really modular and actually used by individual users even. So not only like a big general installation, but also an individual module that could be applied by each and every individual house owner.
I really believe that the Dutch demo case was a success. In the first place, because we are really discussing circularity in conference rooms and behind desks, and this was an opportunity to also test and validate circularity in practice, and that is really important as a key step to arrive at a fully circular built environment. I think that one of the key lessons learned is that we can do it from a technological perspective, but still we need a lot of complementary innovations, and they are mostly process related, and also how we organize the supply chain, especially also for recollecting materials in the long run. So for the closing material loops, which is one of the key principles of our circular economy. Yeah, I think that we have to create and also to accept that this is only a first step. Right? First step also for validation, and from this first step we already learn that we are on a road towards circularity, but we're not there yet. So it's a first step, and we really need to advance that for, you can say, roll out a circular concept, a circular product. So we are not there yet. But at least we have to start now because of all the climate issues we are facing. So we need to start now and somewhere. And I think that's the results of the Dutch demo case showcases that we already can start with. We're doing it in practice, and scale up for in the Dutch case for terraced housing, for example.
I think I would say that we really have to take into account that looking at the circular construction sector, It's really depending on the local context, so you cannot say that it's the same for all the different countries, even for the regions. It depends on the local availability of the market, also looking at what we already have within the existing building stock, how can we use that. So I think that's the crucial part, that you cannot generalize. There's no one-fit-all solutions when it comes to circular deep renovation. I think key was really in our project the collaboration between the different stakeholders groups, so going from the institutes like innovation, knowledge institutes, then important stakeholders from the construction sector, architects, commercial company, producers, manufacturers, so that they can really like collaborate together and have the same vision, so the circular future, but then everyone adds their own part.